The island of Taiwan, also known as the Republic of China, has a population of nearly 23 million people. This makes Taiwan the second most densely populated country in the world. Located in the East China Sea, about 100 miles from the Chinese mainland, Taiwan's climate is of the subtropical monsoon type. Yearly typhoons bring strong winds and enormous amounts of rain that produce devastating floods. Strong earthquakes also strike Taiwan and can cause massive damage. Today, Taiwan is characterized by large modern cities and a technically competent labor force. Non-Chinese people, called Aborigines, constitute about 2% of the population. They were pushed inland into the mountains by Chinese immigration. They are the forgotten minority in Taiwan.
My people were here before the Chinese or the Europeans. We are almost as old as these mountains. Our spirit is in these mountains.
My name is Father Tom Browning. I'm a Columban priest, and I serve in Taiwan. My parish is found in the central mountains of Taiwan, along the Da'an River. The parish is spread out among 15 villages, and there are 7 villages with churches in them. So it starts from the flatlands, where the foothills of the mountains start, and it reaches up all the way up into the highest mountains, where is actually the sacred mountain for the Atayals, Dabajian Mountain. We're really like in the shadow of this mountain. The Atayals have lived on Taiwan for 3,000 years. They speak a language that is an Austronesian language, and many of the linguists think it's the oldest language of its type. Atayal women are known for their weaving, and the men are known for being fierce and for hunting. Traditionally, the people were headhunters. The young girls had to learn to weave. When they learned how to weave, they would get a tattoo on their face. They would get the facial tattoos. And in the facial tattoo would be a weaving pattern. And since they were able to weave, they were able to marry out into another family. When I first came here, and it was evident that the people were facing cultural extinction, their language was dying out, their culture was dying out, I felt a desire to try to, within the church, preserve some of that. We set up a small little group, a small little cultural preservation group, you'd call it, and we started interviewing the elders, recording songs, recording stories, recording rituals. I felt a real urgency about it. I would see elders dying off, basically, and whole stories were going with them, and whole language, the language was going with them. When I first came up, I asked them, how do you say young girl in Aborigine, in the Atayal language? Some people said, oh, we don't have that word. So I asked a few elders, what is the word for young lady? And they said, makarakis. And so I started to use this word jokingly. I often would call the old ladies makarakis. And they said, well, that doesn't mean old lady. And I says, no, it means young lady. I know that. But I just want to call you that. I just want to use the word. Within a year, I noticed how that word came back into the language. I mean, something like that, I felt the urgency. We had to start saving words. Because the church is a center in the village, it is an institution, I felt it important to bring the culture within the church. I also recorded songs. And so we started to use Atayal singing. Not only did we incorporate the culture into, say, the liturgies, but the people also have a certain style of celebrating. The church also incorporates their style of celebration. And for them, it's very important to come together and dance and sing. And they really appreciate it when the church does this and organizes a traditional festival. And then they'll prepare millet cakes. Millet is a type of rice, and they will boil it up, and then they'll smash it into cakes. This is one of the times when the villages love to come together, and they really enjoy this. And there is a great spirit of cooperation and having fun, and so the church will come together and have a great festival. What a pity it would be if this culture was lost. The people have so many gifts. They have such a deep spirituality. They know so many things about the mountains, about the plants. They have so many songs that have passed on for 3,000 years. These people have lived in Taiwan. It's very important for them to remember what their ancestors had taught them, all the customs, the languages, not to have it die out.